Okay. So I guess everybody's either watching football or I don't know. Um, for the most part, I guess you find inspiration in this world from any different direction, especially when it's sent from God. So it's almost midnight over here. I should be asleep, but as you can see, I'm not asleep. So I was watching this movie, well, this TV series called Timeline. And at the end of the show, at the end of the series, um, they played a song that was like familiar to me that came from the 1980s by Cyndi Lauper. Some of y'all might not know who that is if you're super young, you know. I want to put my earphones in because yeah, just give me a second. All right. So I want to be able to talk to my earphones, record a little bit better. So I find myself in a lot of thought and situational diversities, I guess you could say. So back to what I was saying. You know, this is going to be a strange video because I don't have a strict focus right now. I'm just gonna go on and just let it out because sometimes I feel like me chasing an explanation usually takes away from the message that I want to share. So let's consider this a personal message. First and foremost, I want to give praise to the Most High for all of these thoughts and revelations that I've walked into today and within the last hour. You know, a lot of times, you know, you find yourself cut off from a lot of the things that you are used to in this life. And then you start feeling like things are starting to slip away from you. And like a lot of these things come to us and sometimes we don't recognize them in a moment. And we just keep moving forward, which is what we do as people. Right now, we're experiencing some amazing spiritual and biblical things happening around us that are also life-changing events, you know. So I'm not even gonna explain. I'm just gonna go. So if you with me and you stay to listen and you stay to actually receive this message, then consider it a personal message. The Most High is looking for His people. He's using every means necessary to reach His people. Whether it's people like me who are on the lower levels or people in the middle levels or wherever they may be, to reach you. If this message found you, then He's looking for you. The people that come in and roll out, it's not for them. The people that don't listen or think that it's poppycock, I'm crazy or whatever, He's not looking for you. You know, I've been given a lot of things in my lifetime, and I'm going to try to stay on subject as best I can. So the first subject we want to cover right now is COVID. It's the big thing, yeah. I was talking to somebody, and they gave me something, and it was prophetic, you know. This COVID that they are using to change the world. It's no different than any other tool that they've been using over the years. And if I say they, I want you to understand that people are generational. You might not live forever, which you're not. Our fate was sealed when Adam and Eve sinned. But the plans of the evil people continue to move on, just like the bloodline of the Most High continues to live on. All of us can exist without the spirit, God's spirit that He breathed into us, you know. But this COVID thing is being used to change the landscape and change complete control of our lives, our daily lives. You know, Snowden, when he came out with his little stuff and he showed that we were being tracked and traced and all of this stuff, this stuff it's been in the making for a long time. It just pretty much speeded up the process. But what I'm telling you right now, what I'm about to say to you right now, is coming. I don't know where it's coming from, but let's look at it. So when they come out with this vaccination, which they're getting ready to roll out, all of a sudden now that Vice President Biden has become President-elect Biden, they're coming up with this vaccination, and they're going to tell you, hey, we want to vaccinate people because we want all of you to be safe, and we got to get rid of this disease that's going around and it's killing so many people, and it's doing this and it's doing that. Well, a lot of people are going to say, I'm not taking no vaccination, which is normal. But this is where it comes, them forcing you. See, they need you to take this vaccination willingly, because this vaccination is more than just a vaccination. You have to understand, this is a test run for the real deal, which is coming in 5 years. This vaccination is you submitting yourself, prostrating yourself, getting ready to worship their God, Lucifer. You can go ahead and click out of this video right now, because it's going to get dark. So inside of this vaccination, how they're going to get you to take this vaccination first is they're going to come at the people who are what they call essential people. So if you're a teacher, if you're a healthcare worker, a police officer, if you're a nurse, well, I say healthcare worker, if you're any people, a travel agency, airlines, and all of this stuff, you're going to get this vaccination. There's no ifs, ands, and buts about it. They're going to force you to take this vaccination. And the way they're going to force you is they're going to get you to weigh it against your health and safety. Meaning, if you can't work to take care of yourself, the only way you can work is to take this vaccination, because you're going to be around people. You're going to come in contact with people. So you need to take this vaccination for everybody else's safety. Mothers, fathers who have children, school-age children, be prepared, because in order for your child to go back to school, you're going to have to give up and take this vaccination. This is what's called a sacrifice. You're going to have to sacrifice to Lucifer your children. As you can hear, I'm swallowing a little bit because it makes me nervous. But this stuff is real. Do you remember as a child thinking that the stuff in the Bible would never come about in your time? And you placed this in your mind thinking that you wouldn't have to worry about it, so you YOLO. You only live once. And then when you want to hear something right now that I'm going to tell you that makes sense, but you're not going to believe it. People are a move forward people. We are like water. I used to tell people that I'm like water, but water can be controlled and it can be malleable. You can mold water, you can move water, you can channel water, and people are like water, and they're starting to channel us to this vaccination. It was broad in the beginning, mass hysteria, and then they channeled us and moved us in like cattle, and then they quarantined us. And then they let us out, and then they panicked us again, and now they're quarantining us again. Mass hysteria, people buying food, people buying toilet tissue, some stupid things that you don't have to do. This whole process has been predicated on you not being able to provide for your family anymore. There's no gardens. There are no farms. There are no animals. There's no way for you to provide for your family. I've seen jokes about stimulus checks, not realizing that this was just a check the box. This is another one of those channels to have you moving in a direction that they want you to move in, and that's ultimately dependency on the state. Consider this a personal message. This is not something that I can speak on and say lightly and not feel like there's going to be repercussions. I know there will be. Look at my face. There's no worry on my face. There's sympathy on my face. I'm trying to sympathize with you at the same time and try to wake you up and let you understand that you're living in some of the most amazing times right now, because the people who think that they've enacted this man-made plague is not realizing that everybody, every character, every person who ever lived only lived at the will of the Most High, and he made people do the things that he wanted them to do. None of them had the power to do anything. I had a little revelation tonight. You see, people walk around and they worship the cross. They got songs about the cross. Black artists have the Jesus piece. These people walking around talking about, I kneel at the cross. Do you understand what the cross, what that symbol was? That symbol was not meant for us. That symbol was only meant for the Gentiles, mainly Constantine. God had set something in motion, and the only way that he could punish his people to get these things back was through the words that he said in Jeremiah and Deuteronomy, was to set these things in motion. So the Gentiles needed something to believe in, and he gave them something. Constantine had a dream about a cross, and it said, with this cross, with this symbol, you shall conquer. And since then, the Christians have used the cross. But you got to understand something about this cross. This cross is a symbol that people worship. Now, if we believe in God, then we understand what God is trying to tell us. Then God said, don't go in the way of the Gentiles. So basically, right there, point blank, he said, don't worship no cross. This cross is not for you. This cross is a symbol for them, something they can rally around, because you're going to break the rules. I already set it in motion. I know you're going to do it. Because you are a stiff-necked people. You're going to break the rules. And when you do, I have a system already set up for you that's coming. It's going to be the worst thing you've ever seen. And then I'm going to move you so far away to a land where the people have no regard for young, old, sick, nothing. What you see now is the last part of that statue coming into fruition. The feet of iron and clay. When the rock get cast at the feet and it's all destroyed. The Most High is making all of this stuff happen. There's no denying what's going on. This stuff is biblical. You give me a subject and I tell you about it in the Bible. I'm trying to talk humble because I feel sympathy for a lot of you who don't understand, because you don't understand who these demons are that you're fighting against. For every person, there's somebody designed to try to destroy you or to channel you into a certain direction, because they want you to keep moving forward. Nobody wants water to get stagnant, and you don't want people to get stagnant, so you have to continuously move them forward. Move them to a place where you can corral them and control them. Think of a dike system. Think of an electric plant. People are resources. We're being used in order to get to their new world order. I hope you all understand that there's going to come a choice. They're going to ask you, do you want to take this vaccination? Some of you are going to say no. But then some of you aren't going to have a choice. It's either get down or lay down. They're going to tell your kids they got to take a vaccination in order to go back to school. And tell you got to take a vaccination and able to work and able to shop. You have to understand this stuff is in Revelations. It's there. It said that they are going to take away your ability to take care of yourself. And with them doing so, you're going to take a mark either in your forehead or your arm, which is the mark of the beast. We're living in Revelations. You can deny it all you want. You can pretend like it's not happening. You can pretend like us who have been somehow awakened are conspiracy theorists. But I'm going to tell you, the world is in one accord, and that's never happened. The last time that the world was on one accord was during the time of Nimrod, after the great flood, after the flood. The Most High watched them build a tower. They call it the Tower of Babel. It was so high that it took them 1 year to reach the top with a brick. And then they said that the brick became more precious than human life. So they regarded the material more important than human life, because if they dropped the brick, then it took them a year to go down and get this brick and to continue to build this Tower of Babel. And it was 3 groups, and they said, one said, we will go up and we will put our throne over there at where the Most High is. And then the next one said, we're going to replace him and put our own idols in heaven that we worship and we control. And then the next said that we're going to slay everybody in heaven and kill them. So they took their arrows and they shot them up into the air, and they came down and they had blood on them, and they celebrated because they felt like they had killed the people there, the God's angels. And then the other ones felt like they was going to do this. But then the Most High is amazing. He gave us Babel, which is a language change. Our initial language, my mother language, is Hebrew. I am a Hebrew Israelite, not by claim, but by blood. I know who I am. I'm so woke, I'm afraid, not of God, because I know God loves me, because he keeps giving me these things and he's talking to me, and I'm losing people because they feel like I'm crazy, but I'm not crazy. I'm just paying attention now. One part of the Bible talks about in the end of days, men will begin to see visions, begin to see. And I used to think, when I read that when I was a young man, for some reason I was so interested, I wanted to read it, and I read it. And it said that we'll begin to see things, but it wasn't visions that we were seeing, that we're seeing today. You know that thing black people say when we notice something about somebody? I see you. I see now. I'm not blind no more. I understand what's going on in this world. I don't understand how the Most High works, because it's not on me to understand how it works. It's not on me to understand all of these punishments that was bestowed upon Judah, and only Judah, for the reason that the black man has been spread it around the 4 corners of the world. It's not on me to understand that. It's on me to talk like this and to help you and to say to you, this is a personal message for you. His name is Yahshua HaMashiach, not Jesus Christ. His father's name was Yahshua. You can say Yahshua for God, which is to say, for Yahshua for the Son. But Jesus was not his name. That's a character that they made in their image, hence the reason why he's white and blonde, stringy hair and European. It's not about color. There's a big difference that we have to understand, that the race is a weapon that was used to divide us. Our blood is pure, good blood. Now, what they used was after the flood, there were 3 coming off the ship, off the ark. It was Shem, Japheth, and Ham, brothers, right? And they tell us that we are the descendants of Ham's son, Canaan. So wrong. Here's why. Ham was cursed for defiling his father's bed. And I used to think, like, what does he mean by you went up into your father's bed and defiled it? But if you think about it, what's in the father's bed? The mother. So Ham had sex with his mother, and from this union, Canaan was created. That's why Canaan was cursed, because Canaan wasn't even in existence during that time. So how come he cursed Canaan and not Ham? It's because Canaan was an abomination that Ham had with his mother. Ham is the Africans. Black people, you're not African. You're Shemonites. You come from the direct descendants of Shem. Abraham, Joseph, okay? Jacob. You're not African. Stop calling yourself African Americans. You're not African Americans. You're Hebrew. You are the Israelites. The Bible says so. It says the people will know you because they be looking at you and wondering why you can't get up. You can't get up because you are truly cursed by the Most High. Deuteronomy and Jeremiah. You have to understand this. The Most High wants you to wake up. This is your personal message. If you hear my voice, if you're taking the time to listen, it's your time. You don't have to believe me. Go prove me wrong. But from that ship, from that boat, there was a garment that was worn by Adam and Eve. Well, Ham stole it because, he had already got in trouble. You know what I'm saying? Not only that, but he looked at his father's nakedness. Now, that right there is so many different things because the Christian world try to hide these things. Christians or pagan. I'm going to get to that later. So, while this is going on, he stole those garments. The reason why they became so powerful is because later, Nimrod got these from his father, Cush. Cush was very powerful. The Most High said about Cush, he is black and unchanging like the raven. If you ever see a crow, it's black all over. There's no parts of it that's not black. This lets you know, right? It's all kind of stuff happening right in front of your face. And these preachers, they're not trying to preach you. They're trying to entertain you. They're not interested in you learning. They're interested in you paying for your own condemnation. Now, as Nimrod, the moment he put on these garments, he became powerful, a great hunter, a very well-spoken man. And they made him chief king, the first king of all the people. So now Nimrod has these garments. And in this time, there was 2 more people born, Jacob and Esau. And they was at each other for forever. And from Jacob's line comes us. Esau later on goes on to get conquered by Chittim and Tubal and all these different European factions. He interbreeds with them. And later it says that in Jubilees that they become one people and you can't tell them no different. Chittim is the Romans. This is in the book of Jasher, which is in the Apocryphers, which you cannot find in the Bible because the book of Jasher tells you who everybody is. The book of Jasher is so beautiful, it'll bring you to tears. So is Jubilees. We're living in an alternate reality where we have been supplanted by a people who are not us. Revelation 2-9. I'm going to read this to you because I don't want to misquote it because sometimes, you can misquote things, but I want you to understand something. This stuff that I'm speaking to you right now is real. And I'm only talking to you because this is your personal message. It's 12 o'clock at night. I should be asleep, but this is your personal message. And I almost just went on to bed and just said, whatever. But you know what? The Most High gives me things, and He gives me these things, and it's not for me to fall asleep on them or whatever. I didn't do anything yesterday, because I wasn't feeling, any kind of way. I was in my feelings, you know what I'm saying? So we're going to go to Revelation 2-9, and then we're going to go to Revelation 3-9. So this is Revelation 2-9. And if you're reading it, I'm going to give you a couple seconds, but it's 2 of them. It's Revelation 2-9 and 3-9. This is Revelation 2-9, which is Revelation chapter 2, verse 9. Listen, I know thy tribulation and thy poverty, but thou art rich. We're going to stop right there. See, this is when the Messiah is talking to those Hebrews, not the Jews. You got to listen. He's talking to the Hebrews who are suffering because of the Jews starting to usurp them, starting to take over their identity. I can't remember his name, to the guy who became the king of the Jews later. That was made the king of the Jews by Augustus Caesar and Julius Caesar and Mark Antony. This is history. This is historical. This is real. I can't remember his name. It's going to come to me. Just give me a second. So he's saying that, yeah, I see you suffering here under these people who are starting to take your identity. But don't worry about that because you're rich. He's not talking about money. Because earlier in this, I think it was Luke or Mark, he said they brought him a coin. They said, how do we give, what do we give to Caesar about money or something? He said, he took the coin and he looked at it. He said, whose picture is this on this coin? And they said, it's Caesar. He said, well, give unto Caesar that is Caesar's. It's a picture of Caesar. He don't care about money. Yahushua didn't care about money. He was saying, give that to Caesar. That's his. But your soul belongs to my Father, to the Most High, right? We are rich by blood, not by wealth, not by riches, not by material things. We are rich by blood. This is your personal message. Don't walk away. And then it goes on to say, and the poverty, but thou art rich, and the blasphemy of them that say they are Jews, and they are not, but are the synagogue of Satan. Verse 10, fear not the things which thou art about to suffer. Behold, the devil is about to cast some of you into prisons, and that ye may be tried, and ye shall have tribulation 10 days. So the time in the Bible, when they talk about days, it's talking about years. Be thou faithful unto death, and I will give thee a crown of life. We've been missing the message for a long time. These people that are in control, they're desperate. The earth, the world was given unto the hand of the wicked. When Esau is death to the world, then Jacob is life. This is your yin and yang that was brought into the world by these two. This is the stuff that's been blatant in front of your face for years. It says some of us are spiritually dead. They make fun of you and make movies about zombies. It's the same thing. You're walking around being channeled into a way of thinking, and the only way you can survive is for yourself to find some brains to eat. Then this is so deep, but let's go. I'm going to stop. I'm going to go to Revelation 3-9. I don't know who's with me right now, who's going to find this, but it's cool because, like I said, this is your personal message. It's not on me to convince you. Revelations 3. We go to 9 again. This is 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Behold, I give of the synagogue of Satan, of them that say they are Jews, and they are not, but do lie. Behold, I will make them to come and worship before thy feet, before your feet, basically, and to know that I have loved thee, because thou didst keep the word in patience, and I will keep thee from the hour of trial, and the hour which is come upon the world. Today, them that dwell upon the earth, I come quickly. Hold fast which thou hast, that no one take thy crown. The Most High is beautiful. He gives us things and we don't understand it. He says his word would never part. Heaven and earth will go away before his word is ever parted. That's beautiful, because what we fail to understand is we're looking for these things to happen and be like right boom in front of our face. We're not understanding that He is showing us things. He's giving us so much right now that is so beautiful that it just bothers me. Now, did you hear Him say, "Hold"? He said that no one takes thy crown. To me, it sounds like He's talking to Judah. Yahushua comes from the tribe of Judah. David, Solomon, Jesse, all of them come from the tribe of Judah. And they all wore crowns. Watch this. Let's go to Genesis, one of my favorites. Genesis chapter 49. And verse 8. Genesis 49 and 8. And it reads, Judah, thou shalt be whom thine brethren shall praise. Thine hand shall be at the neck of thine enemies. Thy father's sons shall bow down to before thee. Judah is the lion's whelp. From the prey, my son, thou art gone up. He stood down and crouched as a lion, and a lioness who shall rouse him up. A lion, the male, and the female, who shall rouse him up. Our females are handling their business right now, fellas. It's time for us to rouse up for them. Listen, what does a king have? A part of his rule. It's a scepter. That last verse that I read you earlier said, don't worry, don't ever give up your crown. It won't be taken away. And this is what the Most High said. The scepter should never depart from Judah, nor the ruler staff from between his feet, until Shiloh come, and until him shall the obedience of the people be. I told you, the Most High is beautiful. You gotta get in here, because He's talking to you. This is your personal message. Consider this just for you. It's time for you to stiffen your back and pull back your shoulders and face this world. Death is not permanent. But if you choose to live in a world that they're trying to create for you, the one where you have to worship Lucifer, the one where you have to prostrate yourself and allow your kids to be sacrificed to Baal, do you choose to be thrown into the eternal lake of fire? Don't be scared. We all will die. Every single one of us. We're not brought here to be forever. Forever was taken away from us when Adam and Eve sinned in the garden. When Adam and Eve sinned in the garden, forever was taken away. But the Most High said that He put Adam in charge of the world forever, right? So Adam did die, correct? So Adam didn't live forever, but his generations did. We are generational. You live one time. You don't come back as somebody else. You're not reincarnated. You don't get a second chance at life. You live one time. And it's time for you to stiffen your back and pull your shoulders back and get ready to face this world, because this world has been planning for you since the time you was born. Your name has been written down in everything you've ever done, including myself, was written down by Enoch. And we can't run from who we are. We can't run from the deeds that we do, but we can love God. And we can try to be better. We can try. But don't you give up, because it's not over. People like to say dumb shit. Excuse me, that's the first one I dropped. I've been trying not to drop any. But people say dumb things to you. Like there's light at the end of the tunnel. No, there's light everywhere. There's no light at the end of the tunnel. The only reason that you can't see the light is because you got your eyes closed and you're moving forward without thinking. You're moving forward while listening to somebody else tell you that the this and that and this. You're not taking into consideration that your own personal relationship with the Most High is what He wants. Your body is the church, not some building. Your mind is the thing that can free you, not some preacher. Your heart is the thing that can heal you, not some psychiatrist. Your stomach is how you connect to the rest of us, and it's not Jesus. It's the Christ-like. It is a thing, a real thing. All three connect, and it creates this thing called a Christ-like. And it means that you love your neighbors. You love the Most High. He said, master of all the commandments, of which is the most important? Which ones? He said they all important. This is just me breaking it down in layman's terms. He said they all important. But remember this. Everything you do, or everything you are, you should love the Most High, your God. And right next to that, you should love your brothers and your neighbors. We are failing. Because you want to be black, and you want to be white, and you want to be this. It's the blood. They've been trying to get rid of us for years, so much so that they gave a descendant of Japhet, the Gentiles, our identity. And they were called Ashkenazis. And later they became the Ashkenazi Jews, the ones that Hitler was trying to destroy. The Most High does his thing. He sent in Charlemagne. He sent in Hitler. He sent in Napoleon. He sent in Alexander. He sent in the French King Louis the Great. He sent in King James, the one that y'all think was a pedophile or homosexual mother lover, had sex with his mother, but he was black. And this is the reason why they say all of these negative things about him, because he translated the Bible from Greek into English. And then they try to steal this book. He who controls the present, controls the past, controls the future. George Orwell. But he can't change prophecy. They can't change the hour, the minute, or the second. They know this, so they try to give our identity to somebody else. And God said he's going to come with us. He's going to gather us from the four corners of the earth, and we're going to be a family, and we're going to live in Jerusalem, and we will be, this is Judah. We will be back together. Judah scattered across the country, across the world. He said once this happens, there'll be no more wars, there'll be no more sickness, no more death. Men won't study war, people won't die from sickness, and he'll dwell with us, and he'll put his love and laws in our heart, and we won't never want to break them. Ask yourself, seriously, are there wars right now? Are little children being held in FEMA camps and molested by old men? Are women being sex trafficked all over this world? Are people having to take unnatural drugs for sickness that's man-made? Are people dropping bombs and killing other people? If any one of those answers is a yes, then who are those people that call themselves Jews that lives in Jerusalem? All right, well, that's it for me tonight. Just want to end it there. Like I said, consider this a personal message, especially for you, whoever you are. My name is Tyree Bernard. I'm a Hebrew Israelite. All praises to the Most High. I'm out. Shalom.